What up, guys? This is Casey's Rock, and I'm gonna be talking about unlicensed games. In my other video, I talked about reproduction games, homebrew, hacks, bootlegs, and straight up pirate games. Unlicensed games are different, and you're like, what's different about it? I mean, well, technically, this is their own games. They produce these games. They didn't steal the ROMs from anything. These are actual completed games, so they're not even reproductions of canceled games. The only reason they're unlicensed, they didn't go through Nintendo. The Tengen actually found a way to go around the lockout chip. Eventually, the lockout chip the code was broken. Eventually, everything gets hacked. Eventually, but as Tengen was the first one to break their code and was able to revert. They stole the code from the patent office, and they pretty much did reverse engineering to get these games out. Some of these games actually came out on normal NES carts, and I'll tell which one has and hasn't. Rolling Thunder, I believe that might be a Sega game. Rolling Thunder's a good game. It doesn't really say if it's a Sega game. I think that is. Pac-Man, love Pac-Man. This did have a port on the gray cart. There's a different version of Indiana Jones in the gray cart. I don't know if it was from Tengen or different company. Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man came out on the NES as well, licensed from another company. Gauntlet had an NES licensed game came out. Vindicators, I never played that, but I know that's unlicensed. RBI Baseball actually did have a licensed game version of that. I'm not 100% sure if I have it. I should have. But I love playing that version of RBI Baseball. I played RBI Baseball 2 and 3, but I still prefer the first one. Um, let's go down here now. Before I move to the next one, this is from a company called Wisdom Tree, right there, called Bible Adventures, and it has 3 games: Noah's Ark, Save Baby Moses, and David and Goliath. 3 adventures in one cart. Imagine Imagine getting that as a kid, like your grandma gives you that. You're like, thanks, grandma. And I talked about these before, the Latin deck enhancers. These are unlicensed as well. Oh, by the way, the Wisdom Tree. When Wisdom Tree finally figured out how to break the code, pretty much everyone else knew how to break the lockout chip. That's why, like, this company figured out how to do it later on as well. But as Latin deck enhancer games, I believe the story is that these games never got released. They got announced, but never commercial release. And I think they're about to put it out, but they went bankrupt, and it was a palette of the games and the Latin deck enhancer games. And I got mine with all 6 games, including the one that's impacted, so be 7. and the Latin deck enhancer, a little over $100, and I like it because these are still never been opened boxes. The boxes are mint, so and plus you can't play the Latin deck enhancer in the top loader, so I can't really do that right now. But I'll be coming back to talk about this. This has a tied to the next set of games coming up soon, so. You can see right here I got a ton of unlicensed games right there. So I try to keep them all in the same company. I like to keep them all in the same kind of company. This is more of the Tengen library that I got all the Tengen games. That was one of my goals to do that because I love Tengen games, and this is Tengen Tetris. You ask me, this is the more superior version than the normal NES one that got released. Oh, and talking about that, they recalled this game, so there's less of these in the wild, and they catch between $50 and $75. I haven't checked in the wild, so especially during the pandemic, I wouldn't doubt if those numbers went up. Super Sprint, Shinobi's good. I mean, it looks better on the Master System, but it's Sega, licensed by Sega. Road Runner, Alien Syndrome, another Sega game. Pac-Mania is good. I like that. Tubin. This is an arcade game. Same thing with some of those as well, like Pac-Mania. I like Tubin. Here's RBI Baseball 2. There's Klax. Klax is a good puzzle game. Skull and Crossbones. And this is what inside the box looks like with the cover. This is their version of the cartridge sleeve. It's kind of cool. It's going to get more worn because it's also a box, but they're Tengen seal quality. But Afterburner, another Sega property. But if you're going to collect, if you want to play unlicensed games and want good games, you gotta go for the Tengen games. The Tengen games are always pretty good games. Well, apparently, I don't have RBI Baseball licensed version. So that's one game I definitely is missing on the list. I was 100% sure I had it loose. Then I checked. I took a few minutes to look, see if maybe I had it boxed. Went over the library a couple times, and I must not have it. I must only have the unlicensed version. I must have seen it probably a jillion times. Like, oh, I got it. But now I'm looking around and I do not see it. But as the other two, you see Gauntlet and Pac-Man had a licensed version, came out from Tengen. So, cool thing. Let's go through these real quick. These are Wisdom Tree Bible games. Joshua, Exodus, a bunch of Bible games. Spiritual Warfare, the early years, Kings of King, Bible Adventures. This is the black cart. The other one has the blue cart inside the box. Silent Assault. This one kind of, the cartridge is aged badly because it's supposed to be baby blue like this one. I mean, like Raid 2020. So this must have had some sunlight, sun fade, I guess. Raid 2020. And some of these are not Bible games, like obviously Raid 2020, Silent Salt, and Captain Comic, Metal, Fighter, Fighter, King of Kings, the early years, a different copy, different cover, but okay, screw it. Tiles of Fate. This is for a different company called American Video Entertainment. Impossible Mission 2. Not Mission Impossible 2, but Impossible Mission 2. I bet they would get sued for that. Troll on Venture Island. Treasure Island, my bad. Crazy Creatures, a good game. F-15. Puzzle's okay. Pyramid. This soccer game, and look what it says, Kick-Ass Sports Series. I picked this one up recently, probably in the last year. Solitaire, and it also has its manual. That's cool. Double Strike. Dudes with Attitude. I believe this is, I believe Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash had that same tag team name. Venice Beach Volleyball. And this Maxi 15 game cart is pretty much a lot of these on there. A lot of these, and I believe these two are on the same game into this one cart. I got this game and the tension textures. That one says 70. I picked this up from, I believe they're called the Terrible Graphic Gamers. Awesome guys. Shockwave. Death Race. I want to get the... Chiller. I want to get Chiller. Here's the one thing. These games right here are the same as... Like, this one is this one right here. Quattro Venture. MiG-29. Micro Machines. I like Micro Machines. This is the best one out of the lot. From these Chimera games. The best one. Ultimate Stuntman. Dizzy. Dizzy games are okay. Oh, I believe this one's on there. Yeah, that's this one. Quattro Sports. Firehawk. And then B-52. See, thing about this. Let me pull this one out. These are the same games. With can you see this damn near the same box art? It looks like pretty much it's the exact same box art on here and on here. What they really wanted to do, they take these games they produced already, these gold carts and that silver one, and put them on a cartridge like that. That game cartridge will have the game ROM. The Land Deck Enhancer has most of the hardware it needs, and then you plug in the NES. So you would have the games would sell them cheaply. So that was their way to sell these games cheap. So they already had these game ROMs made because from these games right here, but they were trying the make it even cheaper for the customer. But problem is, they already moved on. No, most of the people moved on to Super Nintendo at the time. See, here's the Aladdin Decker, the Aladdin Deck Enhancer. This would, yeah, like I said before, this one would have most of the guts, the hardware. While this only has a small little board with the game ROM on it. So you probably would pay $20 for that, and I'm assuming you probably pay 150 for this. I'm assuming. And then they kind of lied to you and say, upgrade your Nintendo Entertainment System. This is the only game that is exclusive to this. Because all of those games right there actually came out. That already came out on those gold cartridges I showed you. The only one I really didn't have was that one, and I think Big Nose Freak Out. I think those two are the only ones. And they were wanted to have these ones out as well, but they never did. You see, like I showed you, B-52s, Ultimate Stuntman, MiG-29, F-16. They're about to put these on the cart, but they only released those 6 games and that one, and they technically didn't release, but these are the ones that ever got out in the wild. So it's crazy part of history, but I just want to show you some of the unlicensed games I have in the collection. Tell them they're just different from themselves as the unlicensed games and the reproductions, the homebrews, the bootlegs, the pirate games, and hack games. This is kind of separate from all that, so that's why this wasn't in that in that video, but this is going to be its own video. But thanks for watching, guys. Bye.